Everyone, what is going on? It is Abel here today, and today I'm going to be walking through creating a menu, a native UI menu in the FiveM script creator that is available on GitHub. Pretty much is the only place. It is available on another site that's attempting to take off a little bit. This site is called FiveM Freedom. Now, what FiveM Freedom is basically just a developer site where you can upload stuff. So like script creators, APIs, even full mods. If you make them and want to release them, you can upload them here. Basically, just click whatever you want to check out. View now. You can download it. And if you have an account, you can upload a mod. But yeah, so basically just FiveM Freedom. It'll be available here. 6.0 will be, but the main for updates, they're usually posted at GitHub first. But you can download it at FiveM Freedom dash or a bubble app. But today, like I said, we're going to be making a menu, and what we're going to be making is actually a police functionality menu. Now 6.0 comes with the new feature to be able to make native UI menus. 5.0 came out with police functions, and 6.0 again comes out with this new UI menu option. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be creating a native UI menu. We're going to use the F5 key to open it, but we'll get into all that. So once you open up FiveM Script Creator, you're just going to want to click File, New UI Menu. We're going to name ours Police Functions here. So we're going to go ahead and click Enter, and you get brought up here. Now by default, you get one menu with one button, which is here, and so we're gonna go ahead, and I always like to start with the basic stuff down at the bottom. So without touching anything, on line 38, this is gonna be where your menu title is. So again, we're gonna call ours Police Functions, and for the description, we're gonna go mod by Able Gaming. And so here at the bottom on line 50, you see that we have our menu on and off switch. So 166 by default is going to be F5. Now, if you want to change it, you can go to, that's FiveM. You can go to Help, FiveM Documents Controls, and it will pull up this website. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see that you get all these numbers here. So if you wanted your menu to be opened by F9, you would put 56 in there instead of 166. Now, like I was saying, 166 here is by default F5. If you look in this column here, this is the controller binding. This is just personal preference, but I try to make it where my controller will not open up menus. So I usually go through here and try to look for something that says none on the controller side. That's the nice thing about the F5 key, is that it does not have a controller binding to it. So we're going to be using, again, the F5 key, which is 166. Now, by default, this comes where it is already good to go. You can actually export this if you wanted to. So just to show you that what we're working with, I'm going to go ahead and export mine. I'm going to go ahead and go to my FiveM, my resources. I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this folder Police Functions. I always call my code main, and then we can file and export. Again, anytime you export, you want to do it client.net. And so now if we go in FiveM and we refresh our resources, you see that we have new resource police functions. So we're going to start police functions. Now here, if I click F5, you're going to see that I get this menu. Once chat goes away here, it'll show a little better. So you see I titled my menu Police Functions Mod by Able Gaming. So this is a button on the main menu page that says Player Options. I can actually click in here and see the button to heal the player. So if I was to click this, it would heal it if my health was damaged at all. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be getting rid of the heal button because we really don't need that. Now, just like everything else in Script Creator, there's things that you can insert it, but you might have to do a little bit of work to it. So for the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change our ped model. Now we're going to want, actually, you know what? We won't even do that first. What we will do first is make a simple button. Actually, you know what? We'll leave heal player in there. We're actually going to go in here and show a notification that a player is 10-8. Now this will only appear to the player themselves. It will not appear to everyone in the server, but that's okay. We will eventually figure out how to do that, or I'll give a tutorial on how to do that. So to insert a new item in a submenu, you just want to go to Insert Menu Item, New Item. You see you get this little code here. Now you're going to notice the term New Item in 3 different spots here. Anytime you change this, which is going to be your item, you're going to want to change all the other ones. So I changed this to available. Just going to copy and paste for the rest of these, and so that it's there. Now you're going to want to title it. So I'm just going to say Go 10-8 on mine. And you don't have to have a description. If you don't want a description, just leave it blank like that. Now the other thing that you would need to do is on line 18, you define a submenu. You see that this is the variable for it, and you create a new submenu. So you're going to want to copy your submenu name and replace it where it says submenu. So basically this is the code for the button. So whenever the button's pressed, this is the code that's going to happen. So we're going to go up and File, Screen, Show Notification, and we are going to tell the player that they are now 10-8. You are now, in green text, 10-8. So now when the player presses the Go 10-8 button, they will get a notification that they are now 10-8. As always, we're going to Control S to save our code just in case anything happens to it, and we're going to Control E to export our mod. We're going to go back in FiveM here. We're going to restart the resource. And now under player options, you see that we have 2 buttons here. So once this text goes away, when we click Go 10-8, you're going to see that we get a text notification that we are now 10-8. Now later on, we will show how to show this server side so that when you press the 10-8 button, it tells everybody in the server that you are now 10-8. But for now, what we're going to be doing is continuing on. Now that we've added a new button to a submenu, I want to actually add a new menu on the main screen. So to do that, we're going to go up to Insert, Menu Item, New Menu. You see that we get this code here, paste it in our editor for us. What we're going to do is change menu name here, and we're going to call this Police API Functions. We're going to call our submenu name Police Functions Sub. And we're going to change the text to it to where it says Police Functions. Now you guys see that we did name the submenu here. So we'll want to replace where it's the submenu name is everywhere throughout here. So for our first item, basically what we're going to do is we're just going to stop ped. So when we click this button, we're going to be able to stop a ped. So we name our button, give our button some text, change all of our new items, and so what we're going to do is we're going to click on our code area, go up to Insert, Police Functions API, Ped Manager, stop the ped. So you see that we get the code here for stop the ped. We're now going to go ahead and Control E, Control S to make sure you save your code just in case anything does happen to it. And when we go in here, actually I forgot one important step. Once you make a new menu, a whole new menu, you're going to want to go here to the bottom. You're going to want to copy the menu name. And you're going to want to do open parenthesis, close parenthesis, semicolon. And just copy this main menu. Basically what this does down here is make sure that the new menu button gets added to your main menu. So now, again, we're going to Control S, save our code, and we're going to Control E to export our mod or compile our mod. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go in here, restart the resource again. And you're going to see when we press F5, that we mess something up. So we're going to check through here. I see what we messed up. We messed up this right here. So I will make sure that that is not like that on the release. But you basically just want it to be public void, not static void. That's an error on my end. I'll just have to edit that code a little bit and make sure that we get that fixed for the release of 6.0. So again, we're going to Control S, Control E, compile our mod. We're going to go in game here. We're going to restart the function. And now you see that we have two menus. So I'm just going to F2 real quick down to Polito, and we're going to see if we can't find a PED to stop. So I see a PED over here, so we're going to go over here. We're going to press our F5 menu. We're going to go to the police functions, and we're going to click stop the PED. Now you see this guy is going to stop for us, and so there we go. We have a functioning stop the PED function. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to be able to release the PED. So as we did before, we're going to go up to Insert, Menu Item, New Item, and we're just going to call this Release PED. So again, want to change all the new item text, and you're going to want to make sure that you put your submenu name in there. So we're just going to call this Release PED. And for the description, what we're going to do is we're going to do releases stopped PED on foot. And so for the code, we're going to go to Insert, Police API Functions, PED Manager, and release the PED. Now you're going to notice that you get this comment code. It's just basically saying that you have to make sure that you have a PED stop to begin with. You can delete that if you'd like. We're going to Control S once I'm double check to make sure we have everything. Yep, we are good to go. So we're going to Control S to save our code. And then we're going to go to Control E to compile our mod. So we're going to override all that. We're going to come back in here. We're going to restart the resource again. You're going to see this guy's going to take off from us because he's no longer stopped by us technically. So we're going to hit stop PED. You're going to see that we stopped him. We can talk to him, interact with him, do what we want, and then we can release the PED. Alright, so there he goes. The PED has been stopped. Now if you wanted to, you can make some different features in here. So you could make get their IDs and stuff. One thing that I like doing is making a submenu within a submenu. So basically we're going to go to Insert, Menu Item, Submenu. Now you're going to see that we have these 4 lines of code added to our editor. So basically what we're going to call this one is we're going to call this PED Manager. So we're going to go ahead and rename all of our submenus here. And you're going to see that when we add a submenu up here that it adds it to the menu. Well, we want to do something different here. We want to add this submenu inside the police function submenu. So we're going to replace that, and we're going to call this text here PED. We'll call it PED Options. So now we can change where these buttons are because these buttons by default are going to be on the police function submenu. Well, we want to change that. We want to put them in the PED Manager submenu. So we're going to copy PED Manager, and we're going to replace the police function sub with PED Manager submenu. And so now we have stopped the PED and released the PED. We can go in here and we can add another button to check the PED ID. So we're going to go to Menu Item, New Item. And we're going to go down to our new item, and we're just going to call this Check ID. Now we're going to copy it again and replace all these new items. And we're going to go here and check PED ID. And so basically what this is going to do is this runs the PED's name through dispatch. So we're going to make sure again that we have our PED Manager submenu here. And in our code line we're just going to go to Insert, Police API Functions, PED Manager, Check ID. Now again, you are going to get this comment again, so just tab over twice and you can go up here and delete that line if you'd like. We're going to Control S our code, save it, and then we're going to Control E to compile. And now we're going to come in game here and we're going to restart our police functions. Now you see when we press F5, once the chat goes away here, you're going to see that we have police functions here. So we're going to go to PED options. When we click police functions, you see that we now have PED options in here, and all of our buttons are now inside of PED options. So we're going to stop the PED here, and we're going to check his ID. So you see that this guy here, he is actually wanted. So we're just going to punch him in the face because we don't have an arrest option yet. So that's what we need to add. I did notice that we forgot to do one thing, and I like doing these two actions together when I stop the ped. You can actually make it where they go ahead and hand you their ID as well when you stop them. So you just want to go to Police API Functions, insert Police API Functions, Ped Manager, Get ID. So when we stop them by default, we're also not only going to stop them, but we are going to get their ID. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add one more button. Actually, we're going to add another submenu here. So in this submenu, we're going to go to Insert Menu Item, New Submenu. We're going to call this submenu Arrest Options. So again, we're going to change this here as well. We're going to want to add this submenu like we did before to the Police Function submenu. And we're just going to call this, again, Arrest Options. So we're going to go under Arrest Options. We're going to go to Insert, Menu Item, New Item. We're going to scroll back down to where we were here, and we're going to call this new item Arrest Ped. So we're going to change all those. Make sure that you change your submenu. And we're going to go here and give our button a title. And so we're going to call this one Arrest Ped. Do that there. Have our code here. So we're going to go to Insert, Police API Functions, Arrest Ped. You are going to get this comment again that you have to make sure that you have a ped stopped before you can do these functions. I'm going to Control S our code and override it. Control E to compile. Going to go back in game here and we will restart our police functions resource. We're going to F2 down the road and look for a person here. I don't happen to see any people. Well, we might just have to pull someone out of their vehicle and arrest them. So we'll pull this guy out here. We'll get our menu open here. So we're gonna go ahead and stop this guy here. So you see that we stop him and we get his ID as soon as we stop him, John Haynes. So we can now check Mr. Haynes' ID. He is valid, but for this example, we're gonna go ahead and arrest him. So we can walk behind Mr. Haynes here and click the Arrest Ped option, and you see here that our player cuffs him and he is now in cuffs. So say we accidentally arrested him. So say we arrested him and we wanted to let him go. We don't have any way of doing that. So we need to add that option as well. So we're going to go back into our code editor, our script creator. We're going to go to Menu Item, New Item, and we're going to go down here to Release Arrested Ped. So that's what I'm going to call my item there. And again, you want to make sure that you add your submenu. And we're going to title it, so we're going to Release Arrested Ped. And basically what this is going to do is if we have a ped cuffed and arrested, this is going to release them on foot. So Insert, Functions, Arrest Manager, and Release Ped. Now I'm not going to go through all of the API functions because they're pretty much self-explanatory. But like if you have one arrested, you know, you can grab them and drag them. You can jail them. You have all kinds of different stuff that you can do. You can breathalyze them. This will be the last example that I do for the police API functions. So we're going to Control S our code to save it. We're going to Control E to compile our mod. And now when we come in here and we restart police functions, we're going to pull this guy back out of his truck here. And he's probably getting tired of getting dragged out of his truck. So we're going to go ahead here, stop the ped. So he's name changed because the script restarted. But we're going to go ahead and arrest him. I forgot to stand behind him, but you see we still do the animation here. Now say that we go back in here and we checked his ID and he is valid, so we arrested the wrong person. We can go ahead and release him. and he gets uncuffed and he goes back to his truck and goes on his day. Now we're hitting the 20-minute mark, and so I didn't want this video to be super long, and so I just wanted to do one more thing. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put it in the player options just as an example. A lot of people want to know how to spawn vehicles and stuff, because when they're trying to get the code to spawn a vehicle, their script is not exporting properly, and it doesn't work in game. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to go to Insert Menu Item and New Item. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot this one had this function. Just erase what I just said. So we're going to go into Insert Menu Item, New Item, Async. And basically you have to use the async. If you hover it here, you see that you have to use it anytime the word await is used in a code. So we're just going to call this police car spawn, and that's what we're going to call all of our options here. Don't forget to get your submenu name in there, and we're just going to call our button spawn a police car. So in our code, just like when we had the original script creator, we're going to want to go to vehicle, create vehicle. Now you're going to notice you have some more vehicle options. We'll get to that in just a second. We're going to go down here to police, and we have three options now when creating a vehicle. We can create the selected vehicle at a specific coordinate in the world. We can create it at the player position, or we can create it at the player position and warp the player into it. So that's the one we're going to want to do here. So we're going to do that, and we're going to tab all our stuff over properly here. Now, like the tooltip said, anytime that you see the word await, you must use the async menu item. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to Control S our code to save it, override. We're going to Control E to compile our mod. We're going to go ahead and save that as well. And when we go back in game here, we're going to restart our functions. We're going to go down here on player options once chat goes away. So we'll go to player options, spawn a police car. You see we click it and we spawn inside of our police car, and we are good to go. So anytime that you see the code await, the word await, you're always going to want to make sure that you're using those async items. But that's all that I'm going to do today. Really wanted to keep this video relatively short. So I'll have some more examples and tutorials in the future. But for today, that's all I'm going to have for you guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope this script creator is helping you guys out. I've gotten some pretty positive feedback. It's allowing people to make scripts that they probably wouldn't have done before. But if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, or need any help, just comment below. I can invite you to my Discord, and we can talk about it. I can sit down and help. I love being able to help people get these scripts going. But other than that, guys, I will catch you guys in the next tutorial. Have a good afternoon.